Hello, good evening, everyone. And some places,
Evening.
some places will be good morning, some places will be good afternoon. So I would say namaste and hello to everyone. And welcome Victoria and Reme for the workshop. And it is called what's called Africa
Highlight.
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 Yes, we're going to have an exciting exploration of high life music. And we're so privileged that in the Innovision Orchestra, we have people who have such amazing range of experience and knowledge and musical talents. And these are two of our stars, Victoria and Remy. So over to you guys.
Hello, good evening, everybody. It gives me and myself and Remy great pleasure to come and share with you some real African music.
Woo!
You'll be hearing from a lot of people who are probably in their graves right now, but I'm sure they'll be happy that you're hearing them. And we hope that you go away feeling as drunk as you've ever felt before without a drop of touching a drop of alcohol, because that's what high life actually does to a person. Over to you.
Yes, thank you. And it's a privilege once again to share part of your evening. And thanks for giving us your audience. We are taking you on a trip to the continent of Africa, the western part of Africa precisely, to tell you about high life. Now, high life, what is high life? High life is a type of popular music, predominantly popular in the western part of Africa. The music genre high life has been around for around a century. Yes, a lot of scholars have had conversation, disagreements, scholarly arguments on the actual time high life was coined, but the documented evidence we can trace it to is that high life was coined in the early 20s. Now, what is high life? High life is the combination of the local Ghanaian rhythm. Some call it Akan people's rhythm. Akan is spelled Akan,
Yeah.
and Akan is a particular tribe in Ghana, and it's high life precisely is a combination of the rhythm of the Akan people with a range of Western instruments, and yeah, do you want to come in,
Without
Victoria?
further ado, I think we should give a sample of what high life is. Please, Oscar, could you play Jeremy by Victor Wifo? I don't want to say I know the meaning of the words, but you can be sure it's about a woman.
No, it's about love.
It's about love, okay, but it's also about a woman.
Yeah,
All of them were all in
both
love.
men and women.
They were all agonizing over love. was important for me to play that because if what that actually really does is that it shows you all the things that high life does. So you will always find a 4/4 beat, but it's always interspersed with some syncopation. That's what brings the Africa into it. It's a type of syncopation that it's only, I mean, other tribes do it as well, but you always hear the difference when it's African because it's a bit like the rhythm is a bit more dotted. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. But okay, do you want to play the 4/4 and I'll play the interruption and then let's see if you want to clap the 4/4 and then I'll do the interruption. Then you can see what it sounds like. Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
No, play the 4 beats. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
So basically, that's what happens. You've dropped your So that's what happens in high life, and I think from the playground as a child in Nigeria, you will always hear that rhythm, and all the games you play has something a bit like that. And then the instruments you will hear, I mean, this Jeremy is actually quite modern because I wasn't born when it came out, but you can hear the electric guitar, you can hear the bass guitar. The bass guitar is a part that was going dum dum dum. Dum, dum. I can't go that low, but it's like really, and then you hear the shakers, and you hear the gong, and you hear the conga, and there's an instrument called the maracas. I can't.
Yeah, maracas.
Yeah, the maracas. Yeah, that's also shaking, going. And I'm kind of rolling my body as I'm doing that because I can't help it. It's so and this is often played, you know, in parties, and I think at this stage is where we go into the types of high life you can hear. Yeah, that's over to you.
Okay, yeah, types of high life. Before we go into that types, I'll give you a little bit of background into this type of music so we can explore the variety of the types of high life we have. Now, basically, you know, the name high life was coined as a result of people just having fun, partying, you know, flipping back a bit. You know, initially I told you about the concept of high life itself. That is a combination of Ghanaian local rhythm with a range of westernized instruments. Now, what they do then, the elites gather together, they play and have fun, and the high magnitude of the fun is exactly what led to the birth of the name high life. Now, the type of high life, two types of high life. The major two types of high life we have are the brass dance band and the guitar band, also known as palm wine guitar band. Now, the brass dance band is what the elite play, and that involves a whole lot of Western instruments, variety of various types of horns, guitar, name it.
The trumpets,
trombone, oboe.
And then there's this thing they do with the trumpet where they make it sound like wah, wah, wah. I don't know what they do to it.
Yeah.
They kind of make it go a bit funny.
Yeah. Do you want to go now?
No, you can add
Yeah.
that.
Jazzy horns, and those are
the saxophone.
Yeah, and the saxophone. Yeah, those are the elements you see, elements of instruments that
Western instruments.
Yeah, the Western instruments that made up the brass dance band, and it is for the elite. It is for the urban people. Why the guitar band, also known as palm wine band, is for the people in the rural area. The component of that particular type only involve quite a lot of local drums with acoustic guitar. You can imagine people that haven't got money to really do what the elites do. They have to live on what they've got at their disposal, which is acoustic guitar and a range of local instruments. And those are the two types of high life.
Do you want to name the local instrument?
The local instrument, yeah. Djembe, conga, and the whole stuff.
The gong.
The gongs,
The shakers.
shakers, tambourine, and yeah, those instruments are particularly synonymous to African music in general, but the Ghanaian type of those instruments as at that time, and those are the two forms of high life we initially have.
Okay.
We're gonna go to
Sample.
sample now. Good.
So, could Oscar, please,
Oscar.
could you play us the palm wine quartets? They are an example of the guitar band that the more or less working class people would use when they were playing high life.
You know what the name of the song is?
Uh,
Is it Mother Did
I
Love Me?
think it's called something palm wine quartet. It's Kunimo, is it?
It's by Kunimo.
Yeah, it's by Kunimo, palm wine quartet.
Okay, but the names of this is the names of the there's Love Me Adore, Ebenezer Obey, there's
No,
Kunimo. Oh, there
that's
you
the
go.
one.
Sorry,
Yeah,
there you go.
that's the one.
That is everybody's business. Owó ti sẹ́ nọ̀bù a. Eyi ayɛ kura yi na nsanko ne ɛkɔ nom. Yɛn nyinaa nim sɛ ɔbrɛ twɛm wi wɔ wiase yi mu. Sɛ oduwi ana awerɛhoɔ ne anibiri aba yɛkɔyɛ adɔfo no mmoa sɛ awerɛkyekyere firi nnipa ho kɔgya nane owuo te sɛ nɔboa yɛkɔgya na na owuo te sɛ nɔboa yɛkɔgya na na owuo te sɛ nɔboa wina hu yɛkɔgya na na owuo te sɛ nɔboa wodi.
So you can hear the bap 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 bap. Well, in this band, it's as if it's a gong that's playing that, and you can hear that there's actually two guitars in this band, and you can hear the shakers, and you can hear a little bit of a conga sound. I could hear as well. This is the simpler version of high life, and then the more kind of advanced ones you hear in a big. What do they used to call those places where the office workers used to go and dance?
Big pub, big night.
Night out, but it's like my mom used to use a word for it. I think it was a dance hall or something, because in the 60s when my mom used to work back in Nigeria, she told me that after work they would go to this big hall and there'll be a big band and there'll be drinks and food aplenty and every kind of debauchery happened there. And this is the sort of music they would listen to. Please, can you play Love Me Adure? So I could listen to this forever. My mom actually taught me this song when I was 8 years old, and I don't really want to go into what this song actually means because there's quite a lot of adult material in there. He's speaking in Igbo.
We're adults.
Sorry? Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. Okay. We are adults. Okay. Oh fine. If you want it, I'll give it to you. So basically this guy is talking about how he's fallen in love and he's intoxicated, and he's going into descriptions of his lover's anatomy, starting from her face and her breasts and her things.
Things adults do.
Well, yeah, he's going into the details of how he enjoys all these things about her, and that because of all the things she is to him, he's intoxicated and he can't think straight. And he, also the nature of high life is that the singer sounds a bit drunk. I don't know if they are drunk. I don't want to kind of say to, cast any aspersions on them. But I have a feeling that to sing high life and enjoy it properly, you have to kind of drink. And if you hear them, they all sound a little bit like they're very laid back and everything is just good. If you get my drift. It's just, and again, I don't know if you've noticed, all you can hear are the voices of men.
Yeah.
Yes.
You hear no woman here because the song, actually most of the songs objectify women, but also there are other things that high life does. There's so much to say. Okay, I'm gonna slow down because if you've noticed, all the things I've been showing you are 4/4 time. Those are one of the characteristics of high life, but you can also get high life in 3/4 time. And I want to demonstrate that with Sonny Ebenezer Obey, Botemi. Again, he's talking to a girl and saying he wants her to be his lover, and he's trying to convince her that what he's saying is the truth. What else does Botemi mean?
Yeah, Botemi. Now listen to me. Botemi means mine. Listen to mine. I mean, just like you said.
Listen to my truth. I am telling you the truth.
And my truth is the only truth. There's no any other truth anywhere else.
Yes. So he's saying let's live this sweet life. Come away with me. But this is done in 3/4 time. But it's also dance the same way they dance to high life. They dance to it. So Ebenezer Obey.
Ẹbí mi jọ̀wọ́ o, jẹ́ ká jọ máa gbádùn. Olómi jọ̀wọ́ o, jẹ́ ká jọ máa gbádùn. Àyà tó mọ́yá yìí ló ń ṣe kẹ́ ọkọ rẹ̀. Ẹlẹ́gàn bá ń tàn ẹ́ kó má ṣe gbà o. Ìdùnnú ńlá ní fọ́kọ káyà kó mọ̀ kẹ́ ọkọ. Oríire ló jẹ́ fáyà tó bá mọ̀ kẹ́ ọkọ o. Ó ní tèmi o, àyà bí kẹ́mi gbọ́ tèmi o. Gbọ́ tèmi o, bèbí gbọ́ tèmi o. Lólùfẹ́ o, jẹ́ ká jọ lọ. Jẹ́ ká sowọ́pọ̀ dákun yé ìwà àyà mi. Ìlọsíwájú ọkọ ó ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ aya o. Ìlọsíwájú aya o ó ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ ọkọ o.
Can you hear the difference? It's like a compound time. I think that is that's a 12/8.
Yeah.
Do you agree, Balu? That's a 12/8.
Yes,
right?
they can. Of course.
Yeah. So and the percussion is really hard, and he's actually dropping some very heavy parables there, which I'll probably ask. Because that's one more characteristic of high life, that sometimes people speak in parables. They don't say exactly what they're trying to say, but he's really dropping some deep stuff for that woman. Just tell them. Let them into what he's
So
trying
it's
to
like
say.
there's this general notion that artistic work or a piece of artwork sometimes obscures their meaning, like double-sided meaning.
Double entendre.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like telling her that the progress of a man is in the hand of a woman, and that which simply makes the woman feel like, oh, I'm that important, that I'm that powerful. All of this guy's life is in my wallet. I'm just gonna fall for him. So it's just a normal trick that a lot of men play, you know.
Yeah. You're just telling her that, you know, the keys to my life is in your hands, and all you have to do is say yes, and I'll have everything, you know. But if you say no, then I lose everything. And he's really going for it. So that's 3-4. And then before we go further, another thing that High Life does is that it's used to sort of morally instruct people. There's a song by Rex Lawson that my mom always likes singing. And before we play that song, I just want to play a little video of my mom, where she talks about High Life. I got her to do a little video where she talks about High Life, because she introduced High Life to me as a child, and you know, it's been in my veins ever since. And this song is called Tamuno Iburoma, and I think Rex Lawson is actually from the same village as myself, where I grew up in Calabari land. And he was Lawson compound, my mum was Horsfall compound, and you could walk like 5 minutes to where Rex Lawson lived. And Rex Lawson and my mum went to school together, and she said that he was quite he didn't like school very much, but he knew music was his thing. And when he got really famous and he came to England, my mum was in England that time, and she said that he didn't like the food, so she had to kind of make him some Nigerian stuff to take to his house, because Rex Lawson didn't play with his eba and soup. He really liked his proper African food. But the music he was playing is that sometimes people go around talking about you, thinking they want to bring your name down. But what they don't realize, that in the process of them talking about you, all they're doing is making you popular. So his prayer is that whoever tries to bring him down will end up making him popular. Iworibo, Iworiwoma. Anyway, that's a opinion of my mom.
Yeah.
What does High Life music mean to you?
Oh, High Life music means a lot to me, especially when I'm down. It revives my spirit. And it's a Nigerian music spoken in the different languages.
Tell me about how you know Rex Lawson.
Oh, I knew Rex Lawson right from the school. We attended the same school, the St. Saviour's African School in Buguma in the 50s.
Who were the other famous High Life singers when you were young?
Oh, so many of them, but the ones that really gets to my mind are the Victor Olaya and Bobby Benson. And they sing very well too. And we have so many High Life singers.
Talk about one of Rex Lawson's songs.
Oh, especially one of Rex Lawson's songs, the Iworibo, Iworiwoma. It's like if somebody thinks he's pulling you down by gossiping about you, it's only raising your name. It makes you more popular even.
Sorry. Automatically.
So after that, could we hear Rex Lawson, Tamuno Iburoma? May God escort me.
There we go.
So me my bro. Why give me my bro? I can so see where the secret. I think me a see where the secret. I can so me my bro. Iwori ma. I see me a see where the secret. If you so me my bro. Iwori
So yeah, so that's it. And I like that track because actually that track you can hear the percussion instruments
Of
very well
course.
and the bass
Yeah.
guitar and the shakers and everything into the and into the 4/4 town. But also one more thing I wanted to say is that a lot of things you will hear in High Life, there's always call and response.
Yeah.
So in that song you could see when he got to the refrain, he said something and then some people responded. I think even with the Joremi song, the same thing happened there. So I'm going to hand over to Remy to talk about the
Evolution and transition of high life.
transition of High Life from Ghana to Nigeria.
Yes, high life, as many other music genre, has its journey, and the journey of high life, beginning from when it was coined in the 20s, the palm wine guitar band eventually become the popular tune in Ghana. It became the music that was used in campaigning for independence, and that brought that form of high life to people's notice, and a lot of Ghanaians began to fall for it. And at the independence, the newly elected government decided to bring up funding opportunity to high life musicians. So the government invested in high life. Then, as you know, that as a newly independent nation, they want to prove to the world that we've got our own art, we've got our own culture too. But the government was quite clear, they knew, so to say, that there is no way the music would have gained international acknowledgement without investment. However, the joy that emanates from independence through high life and other form of art culture became aborted because military coup actually came to disrupt that joy, and by so the military actually repressed people's voices. People were using high life as a political tool to really sing against the military coup, and a lot of them have to scatter, and high life began to fall apart. It began to, while people were running out of the country, and you know, when people migrate, their music migrate with them, their art migrate with them, their culture migrate with them. Then high life began to spread all across the West African region and Europe. And this is the point where high life fully got to Nigeria, because Nigeria became one of the nearest country for Ghanaian high life musicians to run to and establish themselves as a formidable high life artist, which as well impacted on the rise of high life music in Nigeria.
Okay, so before we play the Nigerian, we'll play one Ghanaian high life, which is Mother by Ampadu. He's a Ghanaian guy, wasn't he?
Yes, Ampadu. Yeah, Nana Ampadu.
Can you play Nana Ampadu, Mother?
Say a castle, don't be over. Depending on why I want to see it. If you say what's your baby, on the panel, I only want to miss up at another bar. Said ya woman, yeah. I have a cobata in the sun. So the was so yeah. Women so to republic. They don't go water, no so. We're watching the so what waiting behind. Mother, I do for Mama, me, I was waiting. I went to be where I
about Ghanaian high life. I didn't, up until like 3-4 weeks ago, I could have killed everyone telling people that it was Nigeria that had high life. It was Remy that actually informed me that actually no, it came from Ghana. But I'm familiar with the Nigerian high life, but I think that song is titled Mother, and it's probably something in praise of mothers and what they do.
Yeah, acknowledging the work and sacrifices of
that mothers do. So you can see that women are also respected whilst they're sometimes objectified. It's still the same, it's they get two types, two ways of recognition. And then the next song I'm going to play is by Dr. Victor Olaya. He's a Nigerian high life musician, and he was also one of those campaigning for change. And I think this song is titled Ilule Kosowolode, meaning that the town is hard. Things are hard. There's no money in town, that no one can afford anything. And I think that was his way of kind of saying to the government that you're not doing your job, you're not providing for people. But he went about it in a very overt way. Is it covert or overt? He went about it in a manner that wouldn't get him arrested, because people who kind of came out and sang stuff that was a bit too bold found themselves in a cell, and he didn't want that. So he decided to just tell stories about how things are difficult in the country, and again he blames women, doesn't he?
Yeah. Wow.
He does blame women. He says women are crying, children are crying, but sometimes, what do you do when the woman comes to ask you for money for food and there's nothing in your purse? So he was just kind of taking it to that angle.
Wow, yeah, he blamed women, of course,
blame women.
But it was, he was only emphasizing on the general notion that men are meant to give women money,
yes.
And he said, BCC ba wai wale. That means if woman comes to meet you at home, and they sometimes they can come as if they are coming to check on you,
like
to
they're
see,
concerned.
to see your welfare, to see, oh, Bilogy, I came to your house yesterday, I didn't see you. How are you? Hope you're well. And he was saying, no, all she wanted was money, not that she was really a caring person.
Yeah, so you can see, I mean, they love to hate women. That's how I would like to put it, but they don't really hate us.
No.
So Victor Olaya, please.
Ẹ̀yin ará ẹ máa gbọ́, obìnrin kígbe, ọkùnrin kígbe, kálukú ló ń kégbe owó. Obìnrin kígbe, ọkùnrin kígbe, kálukú ló ń kégbe owó. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́? Àníṣe bí Sisi múra gẹ́gẹ́ wọn ká ẹ mọ́lé. Àní bí Sisi múra gẹ́gẹ́ wọn ká ẹ mọ́lé. Wọ́n wá sọ fún ẹ wípé mo béèrè ẹ títí wọn ò jíṣẹ́ fún ẹ ní. Àníṣe irọ́ ló ń pa o, owó ló ń wá yẹn. Mo béèrè ẹ títí
I have to stop you. You see, he's laughing because he's thinking he's telling a joke that nobody else knows. That, when a woman comes to your house and she knocks at your door, asking as though she cares about your well-being, she just wants your money. She wants you to think she cares so you can give her your money. And he's laughing when he's saying that because he thinks he's making a very clever joke. Naughty. Anyway, so that is old high life. And now I'm going to transport you to what the young people, I mean, this was way back in 2010, 2011, what the young people listen to in the nightclub now, and how high life has changed. And now I will play you 4 Fall in Love by D'banj. So you can see how High Life has kind of moved on to kind of accommodate people who have come to the West and lived here, and they gotten into rap and all that stuff, and they want to still come back to Nigeria and hear that in Nigerian music. I mean, there's no rap in this one. There are quite a few raps, but I didn't go out of my way to look for them. But this D'banj is written with High Life in mind, but it's very, very modern, and I think it's one of my favorites actually. Again, this man is telling a woman that he loves her and he wants to marry her, but he's using all these synonyms to describe his woman, because in Nigeria women are called things like, oh, my sweet metaphors, okay, my sweet banana, my sweet potato. These are supposed to be words of endearment. Yeah, so that's what you can hear him say at the beginning of the song. He wants to tell this woman to marry him, but I think it's because she caught him talking to another woman on the phone. She heard a voice message, and he's trying to convince her that he's not doing anything wrong. There you go. So he's in the shower now.
Hey, D'banj, this is Veronica. Are we still meeting up today? Please let me know, okay? See you soon.
So that message is being heard by his current girlfriend.
Yes.
I'm very pleased.
Of course. Who called your phone? Some chick just called your phone.
Please, nobody. I don't know anybody. What are you doing now? Why are you going?
Don't get it twisted. Love is a beautiful thing. It's done jazzy again. I'm D'banj. I swear like what you make a first call. When the Coco Master found in love. You don't say what I don't pass, Gabby. Hey! I'm in love. Are you in love? Mama, you don't make me fall in love. 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 We still married because you don't make me fall in love. 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 My sweet potato, I wanna tell you my mind, no. I know, understand, no. Cause I don't see well, but they say love is blind, no. You see as you did, so you are the love of my life, oh. I cannot deny, oh. I wanna make you my wife, oh. See, I never thought that I'll find someone like you that would capture my heart, and there's nothing I can do. I used to brag to my friends that I'd always be a player, but since I set my eyes on you, mama, you don't make me fall in love. You don't make me fall in love. You don't make me fall in love. You don't make me we still not married because you don't make me fall in love. You don't make me fall in love.
So do you get you get the gist of everything?
Mm-hmm.
So the last track, the one more track I'm going to show you is where they blend High Life to sound a bit like jazz. So that one is more like hip hop sort of High Life, and then the next track I'm going to show you is by Ibitayo. That one is actually a gospel track, and that's the first woman you're going to hear, but you're going to hear her praising God. She's saying that God has given her so many things to be thankful for, and she just wants to praise his name, and she's going to paint the town red because she's got many reasons to celebrate, and because God's been very good to her. But what I like about that music is that it's used all live instruments. There's no like that. What this recording we just heard is very electronic and all synthetic. Whereas this other track, Ibitayo's track, is with live instruments using jazzy chords, and then you can hear the mixture of High Life underneath. So if you can please play Ibitayo, Yanga, Fakos.
Ibitayo don't come again, my people. Story.
say I no get it trouble. If I dey waka, I no get it trouble. If I dey sleep with me, I no get it trouble. Them talk their own, them say na juju. I say them talk their own, them say na wuru wuru. Now my papa, now him bless me double. In package for me, I'm on a double. I'm a bready sugar, my tea. Drop to my eye and cross to my tea. So bad. What time I bready sugar, my tea. Drop to my eye and cross to my tea. So bad. Oh, I go bend the town, call our radio. Sit down, make I show my multicolor. I say, I go bend the town, call our radio. Sit down, make I show my multicolor. What time I bread and sugar, my tea. Drop in my eye and cross the my tea. So butter. What time I bread and sugar, my tea. Drop in my eye and cross the my tea. So butter. Check out Joe. One lady, she marrying Baba, better for what, them sweet like Papa, them done they pray, Baba give us speaking, them walk out for road, people they chi cha cha, them talk them on, them say she no bar, I say them talk them on, them say why she marry, Baba you know they slumber. You don't hear them prayer. Yeah. She can't sing, she can't dance, she can't pose, she can't say, my bread is sugar, my tea. What's in my eye, coffee, my tea. So butter, what's on my bread is sugar, my tea. What's in my eye and coffee, my tea. So butter, check out Joe. I go penny town, call our radio. Sit down, make I show my multicolor, my brother. I go the penny town, call our greenio. Penny color. Sit down, make I show my multicolor. Yanga pharmacy. So butter, check out Joe.
So I allowed that track to play for a very long time because I feel like there are a lot of musical features in that track, and I suppose I would like to hear from you and what you all think about what you've been hearing so far.
Yeah, we can unmute people if they...
No, they can unmute themselves.
Oh, okay, so people, you can unmute yourself if you want to say. I thought it was really, really interesting. And is there anywhere in London where we can hear High Life played live?
I'm sure there will be if we looked into it. I think I could make inquiries, and it would have a lot of modern twists to it now though. But I mean, that woman that I just played to you, she's a breath of fresh air in the modern world because people don't play like that anymore. If you go to places in Nigeria as well, you won't hear proper high life anymore because everything is aspiring to be like hip hop. So, for example, the Nigerian musicians you heard, I don't know if you've heard Beyonce's album called The Lion King, The Gift. She has a whole track there where Nigerian musicians played. And it was sort of high life, but it was so disguised ties into hip hop that you wouldn't even recognize high life in it anymore. I think the track is called "Don't Jealous Me," and if you hear "Don't Jealous Me," that's where Nigerian music is at the moment. And I mean, there's still old-fashioned people like me who still want to hear high life, and I want to hear from the other people who are the same, isn't it, Remy?
I'm surprised you call yourself old-fashioned.
No, because young people don't listen to this.
Yeah, but the point, the whole essence of this, I mean, like the last two track we play, is to let you know how high life traveled from that place in Ghana. Ghana is like we established here, that Ghana is the spiritual birthplace of high life. That how that music has evolved from then, it has influenced nearly, maybe let's say, most of the music that come out of West Africa today. Even great fella Nicola Bokusi had his influence from high life. So high life has kept itself relevant with time. Talk about Afrobeats, you see element of high life there, and that's why you see all of this.
That's what I agree with you that high life is still there. But what I'm trying to say is that when you ask the average 22-year-old to about high life, they don't know about it. The African 22-year-old doesn't know about the high life that we know about.
It's just like asking a 20 years old of today about cassettes.
Okay. Anyway, we want to hear from you. If you have any questions.
Well, actually, I would say I'm really intoxicated already.
Told you.
Yeah.
Told you.
Also, I enjoyed. I wanted to know some things about how many languages you use in these songs, because I have heard something French as well somewhere, and there's some, of course, no English.
No, there was Pidgin English. So Don Jazzy, the modern guy who was singing a bit hip hop, he was speaking something they call Pidgin English.
Yes.
And this lady who was singing her song, she sang it all in Pidgin English, but then the refrain, she used a Yoruba phrase for that. And then the Iworiwoma, the Rex Lawson songs, both of them, they're both Kalabari, which is the language that I was born speaking. And then Yoruba was the Ebenezer Obey and the Victor Olaya. They were Yoruba
You're
songs.
muted at the moment.
And then
Put your finger on the bumper.
Then you have Ghanaian. There were Ghanaian
On the bumper.
too.
And then just drop.
It's the bumper.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
that you unmuted.
John.
I wonder is that related to the orchestra Baobab music in Senegal? You should ask.
John.
Can you please be audible, please?
Is it related to the Baobab orchestra music that comes from Senegal?
Victoria, I had a question, and there's someone in the background who seems to be unmuted. In terms of the high life, then do you think it's a musical form that's gonna continue to evolve? Is it gonna survive, or is it gonna kind of be taking into other kind of forms like Afrobeats, for example?
African music that you hear, like Afrobeats, the hip hop part of African music. But it will evolve. I hope the old high life does survive, because that's the one that I really feel touches my soul in the way that the modern high life cannot, And I think that's what I was trying to say to you, Remy, that no matter how it evolves, the old high life is still, there's something quite unique about the way the spirit behind it is very, very wholesome. Whereas the modern hip hop is just a bit flighty. It's good, but you can hear so many other things in it that it doesn't kind of evoke the same emotional response in me anyway. But I don't know whether.
What's the question you want to ask?
Yes, I totally agree with you.
From Senegal play.
Sorry, Senegal? You were saying something about Senegal?
Yeah, is that the sort of music?
The orchestra Baobab play.
Orchestra
Yeah.
what?
Baobab.
I don't know about them.
Well, a little bit.
I don't know about them. I'm sorry.
From Senegal.
Yeah. I'll look them up now you've mentioned them.
Well, thank you. Yes.
Victoria, I've heard of South African high life. Is that also a part connected with this Nigerian and Ghanaian high life?
I think I'm going to ask Remy to answer that question because that is
Actually,
yes, I mean, that's the thing. You see, high life is very infectious. It just spread all across the African continent, but most prominent in the West Africa. And if it is high life, it's got to be connected to that of to the Ghanaian high life that appears to be the major high life that managed to smuggle itself across the different territories we have in Africa. I strongly believe South African high life has got a connection with this too.
Funny enough, I have actually performed with a South African singer called Prudence Mampi way back in 2003. She came to my college at Trinity to lead a workshop, and we did a concert, and we were the choir that backed her for her concert at Blackheath Halls, and she did play some high life, but it did have elements of Ghanaian high life and Nigerian high life, but it also had a different flavor that only she could bring to it. It was just beautiful. I can't put my finger in it, but there was a lot of soul in it. Yeah.
Yeah, hi Remy and Victoria. Thank you so much. That's been a great workshop, and I just want to sort of comment into the whole what you're saying about the new high life being very hip hoppy and very computery, because there is a huge problem now with singers that are actually really good, that the producers, they put so much auto tune on songs as well. And certainly when I've been working with producers in Nigeria, I've had to like tell them 3, 4, 5 times, like, don't put the auto tune. I think that all that computerization, and it's not just Nigeria. I see it in a lot of modern African music, unfortunately. I wonder why it has sort of taken off so much, because it seems to be done more than Europe, but it's certainly a shame that this has happened, and hopefully there will be a new rise of high life and live bands coming back up again. So
yes, I was talking to a producer, one of the old rugged producer around, and I asked him these same questions about synthetic innovation in music, and he was like, well, this is what it is. I mean, considering all of this from the economic part of side of things, if we're to be based on the analog live recording and all sort of things, a lot of people will not be able to record because you need a whole lot of money to get all of that done. And if young guys find something that could make them get something done in their room with less effort, I mean, they go for it. And if there's a market for it, there will always be popularity. The popularity.
But there is something, like you said, Victoria, they all sound a bit drunk when they sing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Remy. They all sound a bit drunk when they sing, and I think this is what is lacking, because I can understand what you're saying, Remy.
I understand what you're saying,
but when everyone sounds so, it's actually quite nice when you hear something that's slightly off key in a very charming way.
Exactly.
There's something really lovely about that, and when you hear the auto-tune, it just sounds, I don't know, there's such a smoothness to it that it's not enjoyable.
So I'll give you an example of the sort of that stuff that Remy and Lynn is talking about. Oscar, please, can you play our final track of the evening? Actually before Remy and my performance, but there's this song called Dudu Care. It's a beautiful song. The lady singing it has a lovely voice, but look what they've done to her. It's Dudu Care by Simi. She's a woman in love.
Please let me say to you, I cannot wait to see you. You are the treasure I've been waiting for. Do you know how much I really need you? I dey pray for the day when I can finally kiss you. You know, say every day I dey pray for you. Oh, in my heart there's a permanent place for you. That's why my heart it dey beat like do bang, do bang. Cause now you are true, so I am very young. I sing for you, wanna be like do bang, do bang. Baby, now you are go big, oh, I am very young. But there we go. See, I may not give the world to you, but I'll give you what I have. Oh, baby, oh, you are my angel, oh. Could you relate, baby, oh. Shabby, you know, say every day I dey pray for you. Oh, in my heart, oh, there's a permanent place for you. That's why my heart it dey beat like do bang, do bang. Cause now you are true, so I am very young. I sing for you, wanna be like do bang, do bang. Baby, now you are go big, oh, I am very young. Only for you it be like oh. I sing for you, my baby, oh. Do I am very, oh, you
There we go. So can you hear the
Beautiful.
difference? It's a beautiful
Yeah.
song. She's actually singing a love song to someone she loves, and she's saying, "I love you, and I'll give you everything." And my heart is beating. That's the whole Juju care thing. That's how her heart beats whenever she thinks of the man. It's a very sincere, heartfelt love song that has been heavily auto-tuned. You know?
Well, if this woman comes to my door, I will give her all my money.
No, she's not gonna make it to your door.
I don't know if she'll make it to your door. Her husband will have a few things to say about it.
Maybe, yeah. Oh, you know what? I found really interesting. Obviously, all the way through this tune, if you guys went to the salsa workshop that I did 2 weeks ago, we had the clave rhythm going through. So it's amazing. Like, you know, I was saying about salsa, all the African rhythms going through. It's amazing how all this music links together.
Yeah. I mean, another thing I think that I forgot to point out on I Life Music. Do you know that then the guitar was modeled after Cuban guitar rhythm?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. So there's a lot of intercultural mixing going as well, which is really interesting.
A lot of Afro-Cuban.
Can I say something that some of the music sounded to me very close to Mauritian music, like soca, chutney, those sort of songs. And I thought, wow, I think it has gone through East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, and all that, then the Mauritius as well. So it has gone there. And I would like to ask you one question, musical question. There are rhythmic patterns, different patterns. Do they have different names? Like, well, of course, there are 3/4 and then 4/4, but there are different patterns within those rhythmic patterns. So do they have different names?
You know, if I had studied music in Nigeria, maybe I would have learned those names. But because I didn't, unfortunately, I don't know. And I don't want to say to you that it doesn't have names, because I'm sure they do, because how else will they communicate to each other when they're learning that this is what, when they're preparing, you know, a piece and writing and practicing with a band. Although one thing I will say to you, though, that a lot of African music is done by feel. I don't think a lot of it is theorized, but I think somebody like Fela Anikulapo Kuti would have all the theoretical terms for the stuff, because when you listen to his music and his band, the way everything is kind of lined up, you can see that there's some logic behind isn't it?
Yeah. And one thing that seems to be quite prominent in a lot of those rhythmic patterns is counterpoint.
Right. Also, I've got another question that this quite a few songs I have heard and all had some Western instruments, as you said yourself. But did they have any handmade instruments before this? And if you go to the history of...
Well, the percussion instruments, a lot of them were handmade.
Yes, a lot of the percussion instruments were handmade. A lot of them.
And do they use thumb piano? Or do they use those wooden xylophone kind of instruments?
I mean, before the introduction of the Western instrument, I mean, Africa itself has got its own classification of instruments where you have membranophone, aerophone, chordiophone, and idiophone. I think aerophone is more of the woodwind instrument in the conventional Western music circle, if you see what I mean. Yeah, they have all of those. They have their type of strings, and I know, particularly in Nigeria, we have, there's this. I don't know if you, Victoria, if you know about Ayinla Ọmọwúrà, all this Apala.
Apala. Well, I was never exposed to that.
Exactly. So they've got their version
of.
They've got their version of aerophone instrument that they do with skin, like membranophone instrument, and more of like skin, animal skin based instruments.
And the talking drum is made from animal skin.
Exactly.
Yes.
Drum. Yeah. So if, for instance, we were talking about Afro Juju, for instance, if I was talking about Afro Juju today, you would have heard more traditional instruments. I just picked High Life out of thin air because High Life is just one genre of Africa, of Western African music. There's so many more, like Afro Juju and what else is there? I don't know. There's so many more.
We'll have to get you back to do some more then, definitely.
Where does the kora come
Kora
from? The kora, this instrument.
I don't know.
Kora, not quite sure.
Kora is from Mali, I think.
Mali.
Yeah, Mali and Gambia.
I'll double check. I know I've heard it before, but I'm not quite sure where it comes from. Oh, Mali. Thanks for that. I will check it out.
Huge continent.
So
Yes.
I just thought that I'll share with you the little performance that Remy and I did this afternoon. We recorded it on our phone. We tried to film it, but blindly photography goes a bit wrong sometimes. Part of the business. But we filmed. We recorded ourselves performing a nursery rhyme. Actually, well, again, it's teaching morals. Like if you read your book, you can wear high heels, and if you don't read your book, you won't. So I'm giving everyone advice now. So if you go home and you've got stuff to do, do it so you can afford to buy high heels. And that's Batamiadu Kokoka, and I was playing the piano appallingly in that. So
come on, you were very good.
You tried to teach that to us, I remember.
Yes.
There we go.
Sorry, I'm starting now.
Beautiful.
That was wonderful, Ray.
Yes.
Hooray! And will you be performing that on in your concert at St. John's?
Oh, we can teach the audience how to sing that, couldn't we?
That would be great. That would be great. Because Remy and Victoria and Lynn, who has been attending the workshop, and Kevin will be performing on I think it's June the 18th.
Is it the 18th or the 11th?
Oh, no, June the 11th.
Yeah.
June the 11th.
Yes.
Performing on the 11th. And Lynn is an amazing Afrobeat singer. Yes.
So don't miss it. So thank you so much, you two. It was really, really interesting.
Thank you very much indeed. And before we close this everything, I would like to thank Remy. What's your full name, Remy?
Oh yeah, full name. Be ready for that. Oluremi Abati.
Oluremi Abati. And Victoria, your full name?
Victoria, well, let's give you the proper thing. Ekenta Nimi Victoria Oruwari.
Ooh.
Let's do it properly.
and we have a third one also. Our DJ is Oscar. Oscar Castellino.
No worries. We got the playlist in the chat, Victoria's playlist. I've sent it by email to everyone yesterday, but it's in the chat if anybody wants to pick it up.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
And yes, also, yeah, sorry? So you were saying something?
I was hoping that one day Innovision will have a high life evening so we can.
Well, I think that's a really, really good idea, Victoria. We'll put it on the list, the to-do list. I'm looking forward to it.
And I would like to be one of the singers.
I don't know if I can sing as convincingly, but I would listen to the music and dance.
Could I just say a huge thank you? It's Fiona from Blind Aid. Hello, Remy. It's so good to hear and see you. And Victoria, it's just been wonderful. Hi, Remy.
Hi, Fiona.
It's just been a wonderful evening. Thank you so much, everyone.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Absolutely wonderful.
So talented, all of you. Wow.
Thank you, and thank you everybody for coming. And don't miss the next workshop.
Thank you, Linda and Baliji, for organizing it.
Pleasure. And the next workshop will be about Indian music by Balaji on the 28th of April. And it's linked with the Indian philosophy and the yoga and all the wonderful instruments and melodies and rhythms. So please come and enjoy that also. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.